against fireworks sellers begins in the capital. 2 Delhi cops get suspended for allowing sale of fireworks. Gurugram's shops sealed. Sale of crackers banned in Delhi and NCR, but BJP leader Tajinder Baga caught on camera distributing crackers to kids in Delhi's Harinagar. Bengaluru citizens asked to not burst high-decibel crackers as the civic body believes that this will cause the buildings in the city to crumble. As PM sends a message to bigot netas to respect heritage, Adityanath too goes into damage control mode, set to visit Taj Mahal later this month. Another complaint against Dera Chief Gurmeet Singh. A father demands interrogation of Gurmeet Singh in connection with the disappearance of his daughter in 2013. Ahead of Diwali, government buses off roads in Maharashtra as state employees go on an indefinite strike demanding a pay hike. Day after 6 people died in a building collapse, builder gets arrested for endangering lives and causing death by negligence. Fresh worries for Sanjay Leela Bhansali as Rajput group threatens to burn theatres. Padmavati is not shown to them before its release. The Harvey Weinstein sexual harassment files trigger a massive online campaign. Millions of women take to the social media to share their stories of sexual harassment. Thanks for tuning in to The Big Story. I'm Avni Raja. The air quality in Delhi continues to remain a grave concern, and with Diwali just a day away, lots is being done to ensure the environment doesn't worsen. And that will be the big story that we're tracking this hour. While the Supreme Court has banned the sale of firecrackers in the Delhi NCR region in an attempt to curb air pollution, the air quality in the national capital is only getting worse. In fact, air quality is swinging between very poor and severe. And now NCR is set to implement a graded response action plan, which will include strict measures to curb air pollution. Let's go across to Milan, who's joining in on the phone line. Milan, the air quality, we understand, is now shifting between very poor and severe. Help us understand what that really means.
That's right, Avni. At this point, the EPCA, which is the Environment Pollution Control Authority, has come out and said that the air quality in Delhi is predicted or forecasted to be either very poor or severe in the coming days as well. And with the EPCA saying that 20th and 21st will be two crucial days that the government and the environment agencies will be monitoring. And at this point, they have mentioned that the graded response action plan that was supposed to control air pollution is in motion from today, which means that to check the level of air quality and to check the air quality index, the EPCA has said that the Badapur plant, for instance, in Delhi has been shut down, and it will remain shut until further notice. And also saying that all other measures welcoming the cracker ban as well, which they clearly state is one of the reasons for the level of pollution going high in the national capital region, is also being welcomed by the EPCA. And they are saying that from October 17th onwards till March 15th, they are predicting that very poor and severe conditions will stay and the air quality will deteriorate. And for people, this means that they should maintain, caution and try to stay indoors as much as possible, especially after Diwali. However, the EPCA says that all the measures listed in the graded response plan will be implemented and already implemented so that Delhi does not see the kind of pollution levels reaching to 800 that it saw in 2016, Avni. Back to you.
Milan, at this point, if you were to compare last year and this year, the situation is still not as bad as it was last year?
Yes, Avni, that's right. The last year when the pollution levels had gone off the mark and schools were asked to shut down and odd even was also implemented at that point. These are some of the severe listed measures by the EPCA to control pollution. But this year, however, the EPCA assures that, this is not the level that the pollution will be allowed to reach this year. And which is why many of these action plans are have now been set in motion by the EPCA that is responsible for these, checking the pollution level in Delhi NCR. They've also mapped down areas wherein Anand Vihar, Ghaziabad have been to have the highest level of pollution right now in the Delhi NCR region. That is also because these are industrial areas, and currently plans are on, they are mapping down measures that are supposed to be taken to reduce the kind of air pollution in this area. But people have been told that do not burst crackers and avoid, traveling in vehicles that cause high level of emissions during this point of time. And these are some of the measures that they are taking currently, Apni.
All right, Milan, thanks so much for getting us those details. In fact, to talk about the issue of air pollution that Milan was just talking about and obviously requiring serious attention is Sunita Narayan, member of the Environment Pollution Control Authority, who's joining me on the phone line. Thank you very much, Ms. Narayan, for joining in. Want to understand from you, we understand now that the air quality in Delhi is swerving between worse and very poor. Help us understand how this is in comparison to last year.
See, it's very early, and I don't think we should count our chickens before they hatch. Let's be clear. Last year, Delhi's pollution peaked in November. Okay? That's when winter had set in, that's when Diwali happened, and that's when crop burning was at its peak. So we had three factors. Local pollution in Delhi was high. We had winds bringing in crop burning emissions from Punjab and Haryana. It was also the time of Diwali, and there was huge amount of cracker burning, and there was winter inversion. And pollution went to what we now call a pollution emergency. This plan has been brought in with the aim to try and make sure that we don't reach that bad emergency situation again by bringing in steps which can control pollution today before things get out of hand. But we are at the beginning of winter. We have a long way to go. Winter will come in with, and as cold steps in, inversion happens. The burning from Punjab and Haryana will peak in the next 10-15 days, and as you know, no alternatives have been found for it. Also, the long-term measures that the government of Delhi and NCR were to put in for public transport have not happened, so you cannot take cars off the road. And worst, the effort to clean up the fuel, which is petcoke and furnace oil used in industry, the Ministry of Environment has still not notified the standards, which would help us to do so. So lots of things have not happened yet to fix the pollution problem of NCR. Our effort is to try and impose steps, monitor, keep the governments informed on a daily basis of what the air quality index is and the health impact, and direct for tougher and tougher actions as and when pollution level rises.
Right. I want to talk to you about the measures as far as the graded action response plan is concerned. But before getting to that, specifically as far as this cracker ban is concerned, do you believe that it's going to make a significant difference as far as the air quality is concerned, especially if you were to compare it to last year?
See, we have not asked for the cracker ban. It was not part of our list. There's a separate group of petitioners who have asked for the ban. And we have always maintained the cracker issue is a very serious issue on the day of Diwali, but it is one more issue, okay? You have traffic, you have weather, you have all the conditions turning adverse, and then, of course, you have toxic crackers as well. Now, how much will the cracker ban have an impact will also depend on how strictly is it enforced, how strictly is it implemented, how much do we have people on our side, how much do they understand the health effects of it. So I think all those are steps that will need to be taken, but please recognize Delhi and NCR's pollution is at a point where everything is needed, and everything needs to be done so that we can reduce the pollution.
Right. Now, as far as the graded action response plan is concerned, help us understand the kind of measures that we are talking about, which will now be implemented.
So, we have, as we said, today we have imposed the category of very poor to severe.
Right.
And there is a further category called severe plus. Now, Delhi is in the very poor category right now, but we are taking preventive action knowing that weather conditions will turn severe to also call it very poor to severe. So the two categories have been grouped together and imposed in NCR. Now, as far as the measures taken is, firstly, closure of Badarpur thermal power plant as of today. The closure of brick kilns which are not using zigzag technology as of today, strict action and vigilance against burning of garbage, road dust, which is a continuous measure but even more needed as of today because we are now in the red zone, as you can call it. And the next steps that will have to get taken will have to do with increasing parking rates, closing down factories which use polluting fuels, and closing down hot mix plants. So, as the effort will be to keep ramping up the measures as listed in the plan.
Right. Sunita, the other really important angle and aspect here is the fact that people need to be made aware of the gravity of the situation. And I think in the kind of responses we've seen as far as the cracker ban is concerned, there have been very mixed reactions. But there's still a lot of people who believe, who don't understand the gravity of the situation. So what more needs to be done to build that awareness?
All of us have to work together. I think your programs, media plays a critical role. What we have done is that as of today, and please check, the Central Pollution Control Board has put on its website all the data on the air quality index and the impact on human beings. If you can help us to disseminate this, help us to build awareness, that will go a long way. It's very important for us to understand this is a public health issue and that everything needs to be done. See, we face this all the time. When you talk about a ban on diesel cars, we are told, but diesel cars contribute so little. You ban crackers, we're told crackers contribute so little. But please understand, all of it adds to pollution. All of it needs to be controlled. And that's really the level at which we are. We are in an emergency situation where everything has to be done and everything has to be done yesterday.
Other major points to note is that as far as the health issues are also concerned, which seem to be increasing, especially as far as young children and the elderly are concerned.
There's enough evidence now that air pollution leads to chronic respiratory problems. It leads to heart problems. The trouble with air pollution is that there is no cause and effect. You don't go to a doctor and die. When you die of a heart attack, no doctor gives you a certificate saying you died of a heart attack. But there is enough evidence to show that there is much higher incidence of such diseases in cities which are polluted. So please, the health impacts of air pollution are absolutely clear. We need to make sure that we can take every action we can to reduce pollution, particularly during winter when inversion is high.
Absolutely. And finally, Sunita, the fact that all these solutions, whether it's the cracker ban, whether it's the odd even, or even, when the schools had to be shut because of the severe air pollution, these are just band-aids, and more long-term solutions and strategies really need to come into effect.
Absolutely. No, you've put it very clearly. Listen, everything we're doing is still a band-aid. We need the long-term solution, particularly with public transport, particularly with clean fuels. Without that, we've already got, what we have got is a victory on the better emission norms for vehicles, BS4. We will get BS6 in 2020. That's still 3 years away. So we need to make sure that we can get other steps in, particularly public transport, particularly a ban on pet coke and furnace oil. Those are critical if we want to breathe easy.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Sunita Narayan, for joining us on the show. So a lot needs to be done as far as the air quality is concerned, not just, in fact, in Delhi NCR, but in fact in a lot of our cities across the country. But on that note, let's now take a quick break. We'll continue the same subject on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the big story. Now, while the courts have been trying their best to bring about a change in Delhi's environment, here is the reality. 2 policemen have been caught colluding with shopkeepers and selling crackers in Delhi, despite the Supreme Court ban. A shopkeeper has been arrested and the 2 policemen have been suspended. An inquiry has also been ordered. And in Gurugram, police have cracked down on illegal cracker shops. Over 30 cartons with crackers have been seized and a case has been registered against the shopkeeper. The government is restricting bursting crackers to only 3 hours, that is from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. For more details on this, I'm being joined by Apurva on the phone line. Apurva, take us through what really happened as far as these incidents are concerned, and how are the police and other authorities really trying to ensure that the ban is implemented?
Well, as far as Delhi is concerned, in Mangolpuri, we saw how 2 cops were in fact suspended for colluding with the firecrackers dealers there who were trying to sell the crackers despite a Supreme Court ban on the sale of firecrackers, and because of which the DCP of Outer
All right, we seem to have lost Apurva. We'll try and reconnect with her. Meanwhile, hear out Madhur Verma, who's PRO, Delhi Police.
ऑनरेबल सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ऑर्डर दिल्ली पुलिस पूरी तरह इम्प्लीमेंट करने का प्रयास कर रही है और उसके अंतर्गत तमाम लाइसेंस्ड दुकानें उनके लाइसेंसेस सस्पेंड कर देंगे, चाहे वो टेम्परेरी हो या वो परमानेंट हो। साथ ही दिल्ली पुलिस रोकने के लिए कोई ऑनलाइन सेल एंड परचेज ना हो रही हो उसके ऊपर भी हमारी साइबर क्राइम की टीम्स मॉनिटर कर रही हैं और अगर कोई चीज सामने आती है तो उसके ऊपर कानून मुताबिक कार्रवाई की जा रही है। और कई जगह पे कुछ लोग इलीगल सेल एंड परचेज ऑफ क्रैकर्स कर रहे थे, उनके ऊपर कानून मुताबिक कार्रवाई की गई है। धारा 188 के अंदर मामला दर्ज करके गिरफ्तारी भी की गई है। साथ ही दिल्ली पुलिस की स्पेशल टीम्स भी डेजिग्नेटेड मार्केट्स में डिप्लॉय की गई हैं, जो कि नजर रख रही हैं कि कहीं पर भी कोई भी इलीगल सेल एंड परचेज ऑफ क्रैकर्स ना हो।
All right, let's go back to Apurva, who's back with us. Apurva, continue. You were telling us about the 2 incidents.
Well, in Mangolpuri, as we saw how 2 cops were suspended for colluding with the firecracker sellers who were attempting to sell their products despite a Supreme Court ban on the sale of firecrackers. Now, this is after the DCP of Outer, M.N. Tiwari, had come down very heavily on them, saying that no such incident will be tolerated, especially if there are police officials there colluding with the firecracker sellers trying to sell their products. There will be strict action that will be initiated against them. And we saw how all the DCPs of the districts have been asked to maintain a very strict vigil on the sale of firecrackers, because remember, there are many disgruntled firecracker sellers who want to exhaust their product because they will be incurring a lot of loss in the wake of the Supreme Court ban on the sale of firecrackers. Now, this in the light of whatever has been happening there in Mangolpuri. All the DCPs of various districts have been asked to come up with a special task force who will be looking at various areas where they can expect any kind of sale that can take place and monitor a very strict vigil so that there is no such incident that takes place and nobody violates the law. While on the other hand, we saw how in Gurgaon, there were...
Right, Apurva, I'm going to ask you to hold the line. In fact, a BJP leader, Tajinder Singh Bagga, distributed firecrackers among the children living in slums despite a Supreme Court order banning the sale of crackers in the Delhi NCR region. And joining me on the phone line is, in fact, Tajinder Bagga at this point. Thank you very much, Mr. Bagga, for joining in. ये crackers जो आपने distribute किए हैं, वो कहाँ से खरीदे थे?
ये पड़े हुए हमारे पास पहले के, हर साल हम डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करते हैं। तो इफ यू विल गो इन माय फेसबुक और ट्विटर टीएल, आपको पुराने जो पिछले सालों की वो भी पिक्चर्स मिल जाएगी। तो हर साल करते हैं।
अच्छा, लेकिन क्या आपको नहीं लगता कि जो हमारे सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने क्रैकर्स सेल्स के पे बैन करा है उसकी कोई गंभीर वजह होगी? क्यों करा है उन्होंने?
मैम, ऐसा है कि जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के पास आईआईटी की अपील के ऊपर पीआईएल डाली गई थी, उस आईआईटी की रिपोर्ट में जो पोल्यूशन के कारण बताए गए हैं, पहले 10 कारणों के अंदर दिवाली नहीं है। सेकंड चीज, जो पोल्यूशन क्रैकर्स के कारण पूरे साल में बताया गया है वो 0.3% है। हमारा इशू बैन से नहीं है, आप बैन करिए, कोई इशू नहीं। लेकिन जब आप सिलेक्टिव बैन करते हो, आप दिवाली पर तो बैन करते हो और उसके बाद रिस्ट्रिक्शन हटा देते हो, तो उससे लोगों को एक संदेश जाता है कि इट इज ओनली टू टारगेट द हिंदू फेस्टिवल। और मुझे लगता है पे विरोध आ भी रहे हैं वो जायज है, क्योंकि एक पीआईएल गैंग के द्वारा, कुछ लोगों के द्वारा डेलिब्रेटली एक के बाद एक हिंदू फेस्टिवल्स को टारगेट किया जा रहा है।
नहीं तजिंदर जी, ये बिल्कुल हिंदू फेस्टिवल को टारगेट कर रहे हैं, ऐसी बिल्कुल बात भी नहीं है। और ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने खुद बोला है कि दिस एंगल ऑफ कम्युनलिज्म ये बिल्कुल आना नहीं चाहिए इस डिस्कशन में, ये सिर्फ पोल्यूशन की बात हो रही है।
मैम एक सेकंड, ये मैं भावनाओं के आधार पे नहीं कह रहा, ये मैं जो भी चीजें कह रहा हूँ आपको एग्जाम्पल के साथ बता रहा हूँ। तमिलनाडु के अंदर आपको ध्यान होगा, आज से 2 साल पहले एक पीआईएल डली कि जो वहां से हजारों सालों से जल्लीकट्टू वहां का कल्चर था, एक त्योहार मनाया जाता था, जल्लीकट्टू पे बैन लगाया जाए। उसके बाद कर्नाटक के अंदर कंबाला के ऊपर पीआईएल डली की कंबाला को बैन किया जाए। महाराष्ट्र में दही हांडी के ऊपर पीआईएल डली की दही हांडी के कारण बच्चे जख्मी हो जाते, दही हांडी को बैन किया जाए। होली के ऊपर कैंपेन चलाई गई कि वाटरलेस कलरलेस होली की जाए। अभी 22 सितंबर 2017 को सुप्रीम कोर्ट के अंदर एक पीआईएल डली है जिसमें ये कहा गया है जो नवरात्रि के अंदर डांडिया होता है, डांडिया के कारण नॉइस पोल्यूशन होता है और डांडिया को बैन किया जाए। तो जब इस अटेम्प्ट के साथ एक के बाद एक हिंदू फेस्टिवल के अगेंस्ट ही पीआईएल डल
नहीं, बगा जी आप दूसरी चीजें की बात कर रही है, ये सब लोग को जानते हैं। आज प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस भी हुआ था पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल अथॉरिटी का कि द सिचुएशन इज इन एन एक्सट्रीमली ग्रेव, इट्स अ वेरी ग्रेव सिचुएशन और इसकी लॉन्ग टर्म मेजर्स जरूरत है। और क्रैकर्स इज वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट रीजंस कि ये क्यों होता है। तो ऐसे नहीं है कि ऐसे ही बिना सोचे समझे ऐसा बैन लगाया गया है, सोच समझ के बैन लगाया गया है।
मैम सोच समझ के ऐसा है, 20 दिन पहले कोर्ट ने इससे बैन हटाया था और उसके बाद कहा कि 450 लोगों को लाइसेंस दे दिया जाए। जो पीआईएल जिन लोगों ने डाली थी वो लोग दोबारा कोर्ट में गए और उन्होंने क्या कहा कि एक एग्जाम्पल आप के लिए, सिर्फ एग्जाम्पल के लिए आप थोड़े एक महीना बैन करके देखिए।
बगा जी, लेकिन दिल्ली में इतना सिचुएशन खराब है कि स्कूल्स भी बंद रखने पड़ते हैं क्योंकि पोल्यूशन इतनी बुरी होती है।
निश्चित रूप से मैं एग्री हूँ आपसे कि दिल्ली में सिचुएशन खराब है, लेकिन इसके लिए जिम्मेदार पटाखे नहीं है।
तो नेता होने के नाते आपको लगता नहीं है कि आपको एक एग्जाम्पल सेट करना चाहिए, ना कि क्रैकर्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करने चाहिए?
मैम क्रैकर्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करके एग्जाम्पल ही सेट किया जा रहा है कि आप अगर सिर्फ कुछ लोग अगर सिर्फ हिंदू फेस्टिवल्स को टारगेट करेंगे।
नहीं, आप बोल रहे हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट हिंदू फेस्टिवल्स को टारगेट करे, ऐसी तो हो ही नहीं सकता ना। आप एग्जाम्पल सेट करना चाहिए, सुप्रीम कोर्ट के खिलाफ जाने के बजाय आपको एग्जाम्पल सेट करना चाहिए।
मैम एक बात बताइए, ये एक्टिविस्ट क्या कह रहे हैं कि ये जो अपील है किसने डाली? बच्चों ने डाली, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, यही कह रहे हैं ना। लेकिन एक बात बताइए मैम, उन बच्चों के पीछे कौन है? वो बच्चे कितने साल के? 2 साल, 4 साल, 5 साल के, लेकिन उनके पीछे कौन है? अभिषेक सिंह भी, जिनकी फीस 20 लाख रुपए पर हेयरिंग है।
बगा जी, वी आर रनिंग आउट ऑफ टाइम, लेकिन मैं आपसे यही कहना चाहूंगी कि ये बच्चे की जो आप बात कर रहे हैं, बच्चों को ही ब्रोंकाइटिस, आस्थमा, ऐसी कई सारी डिजीजेस होती है बिकॉज ऑफ दिस एयर पोल्यूशन। इस एयर पोल्यूशन की वजह से इनको ये सारी डिजीजेस होती है। Alright, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much, Mr. Baga, for joining in. Well, a lot of issues still need to be dealt with as far as this pollution situation is concerned. But for now, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much for joining.